Joel Osteen is in a little bit of trouble. The internet caught on to something that he was doing, which is unethical to say the least. Joel Osteen denounced as grifting scumbag after his megachurch pockets millions in COVID-19 relief. So I think the number is $4.4 million. That's a lot of money, Joel. Now, Joel lives in a mega mansion, and Joel doesn't have to pay taxes because churches don't have to pay taxes, even though he's running a business, basically, and he preaches this thing called the prosperity gospel, which is this attempt to marry capitalism and, like, self-help guru motivation stuff with Christianity. Now, listen, there's nothing wrong with, like, the self-help motivational stuff, right? Like, that's fine. Teach their own if you like it. No worries at all. But to pretend like that's the message of the hippie communist Jesus, who was a hippie communist before hippies were a thing or communism was a thing, like, that's a little ridiculous. Obviously, Jesus was not the biggest fan of the rich, and his whole thing is like, Jesus wants you to be rich. Well, now you see what's really going on. At a time when so many Americans are struggling, 60% of restaurants or small businesses are going to permanently go out. Permanently. This guy and his megachurch, where he's phenomenally wealthy and not in any danger whatsoever of going bankrupt, going under, having financial problems, he's in no danger at all. But he gets the money while other businesses struggle. And don't even get me started. Forget other businesses. What about other people? You know, they're still talking about a stimulus bill with no stimulus checks. Okay, send that over to Charmin because that's for nothing except toilet paper. Charmin should print out those bills on their toilet paper and Americans should all buy it. It's ridiculous. Stimulus bill with no stimulus checks. So people are struggling to make ends meet. We're going to have a record number of foreclosures and evictions as soon as these protections wear off. But guys like Joel Osteen, however you say it, is running out the back door with $4.4 million. And this really does put in perspective, guys. This really does put in perspective the way the system works. Usually if you're powerful and connected, you're first in line to get help. So they don't actually allocate based on need. They don't allocate based on morality or reason. It's just like, you know, he's probably got connections and he's probably got a team of lawyers who can help him navigate all the hurdles to getting a loan like this and getting money like this. And so he's able to get it. He has the resources, he has the means, and that paid off. But really, any bill that would give him $4.4 million is trash. It's trash. Total trash. I don't even think that needs any more explaining. You know, it's the way it should work is you give it to people in need. Give money to people in need. Give money to businesses in need. Instead, you have Joel and a whole bunch of mega corporations that were not struggling. They were the first ones to get paid, son. The first ones. Again, as everybody else is struggling. Naomi Klein, shock doctrine. You have a pre-existing agenda and you use a crisis to implement that pre-existing agenda. And, you know, that agenda in this country for the longest time is total oligarchy, corporatocracy, corporate socialism, corporatism, as we call it. And Joel used his money and his power and his connections to find a way to use this legislation to his advantage, even though he shouldn't and he doesn't need to. What would somebody who's a true follower of the message of Jesus do in this situation? Maybe take that $4.4 million and start distributing it to people in need who come to your church. Maybe that. No, you don't want to do that? He wants to buy another mansion or some shit? A yacht? It's just disgusting, man. It really is. people are blaming him. I do blame him to some extent, but really the lion's share of the blame, keep it real, it's the fact that this bill was as terrible as it was in the first place. You know, the way Congress has acted in the wake of COVID and the economic downturn, it's a crime. It's absolutely a crime. And now we're seeing the fruits of their labor. They rushed to slap together some bills, and of course the bills really helped mega corporations and rich assholes like this.